Right, I have been late on a lot of stuff. I have not talked about 10th edition like I want to yet. My current main job is going down the drain a bit, and the part-time job I work at has been crushing my soul and motivation, which, fortunately, as of right now, I am quitting it. And what better way to kind of celebrate that than to also take a look at all the massive reveals that just came out today. I've done the Las Vegas openings, Adepticon, I might as well try to squeeze this out today as quickly as I can. And there's a lot. Most of it is kind of going to be focusing on 40k and everything else that was revealed. And also, I'm currently not in my usual place to record. But regardless, we just need to jump into it. Probably the biggest thing, of course, is 10th edition Leviathan. There is a lot that comes in this. You got 25 Space Marine miniatures, you got 47 Tyranid miniatures, and if you got a brand new shiny rulebook, you got a mission deck, and you got transfer of shit. Moving on to the models. Terminator looks really good. I like it. It's not necessarily on a tactical rock as it is on tactical guts. Obviously, all these models coming out are going to be monopose and push fit, but I don't really mind that because they do have a good presence to them. This one is no different. It's a very good commanding presence with him shouting at something or someone. The Librarian we have seen before, and it's a good model. I'm not really too fond of using Psychers in my armies. I don't know, it's not something I'm used to, but I really do like this design, and expanding into other armies like, say, Salamanders, I might have a use for this. The Apothecary Biologus, which is just an apothecary in Gravis armor. Good. No, you know, he's just chilling, walking, shooting at some Tyranids while he's carrying a few brewskis to his boys. It's all good. Good. Lieutenant in Phobos armor, I think it's okay. He's cool. I'm not particularly a fan of, like, the whole Phobos range so much. I'm not really into whole, like, scouts. But I think this model is fine for what we're getting out of it. This is something, however, that really caught me off guard, and I kind of want to take a breath and talk about. Sternguard Veterans. This honestly really surprised me, mostly because I am thinking for sure that they're getting rid of Firstborn and all, like, you know, the tactical squads, the assault squads, and just all the old Space Marine models are all just going to go full Primaris now. But with this, it's kind of weird because I also remember back with the Terminator squad, which, again, we do also have that, and it still looks freaking amazing. But back with them, they mentioned, like, oh, Terminators can be fielded as Firstborn or Primaris. And further, I think they had an article before where it's now, like, Primaris can go in, like, Rhinos and vice versa. So there's more flexibility in who can go in what in transports. So seeing Sternguard in kind of more of this updated range is honestly kind of cool. It's kind of nice. Overall, I do like it. They look nice. Yeah, all good. The Terminators I've mentioned really look amazing. They still have their iconic look. And honestly, how can you go wrong with them? I do kind of question, however, how they will compare to Chaos Terminators, because were they kind of updated with this in mind, or are they going to look a little bit chunky and weird in comparison? Then the Infernus Squad. I like this. As I mentioned, I'm looking into Salamanders, so this is perfect. I love Black Templars with, like, the Pyroblasters and the, like, Crusader squads. This is going to be fun. This will make a very fine addition to my collection. I'm very happy with this. I think from their weapon profile that they teased, they're, like, Strength 5, so that's pretty dang good. Then we have the Ballistus Dreadnought, which kind of now brings us all full circle in the whole Primaris Dreadnought range, with the Redemptor being the Generalist, the Brutalis being the melee, and now we have a full, like, long-range artillery piece. You know, I like this. You got the hefty last cannons on the side, you got some rockets. It's all a good around generalist fire support piece. I like it. Ooh, but now we get to the Tyranids. The Bug Boys. Probably my favorite out of this box, period. The Wing Tyranid Prime, we kind of got a little preview before, and it looks really nice. I like it. Now we have the Neuro Tyrant, the big old, like, brain bug from the cinematic, and to me it looks like a more powerful Zoanthrope. I will have to see a lot more on, like, the rules and whatnot. But yeah, it is probably just a more powerful and cooler looking, like, you know, Zoanthrope, Neurothrope, whatever it is. It does have a really good presence, and I like it. The Screamer Killer. The original design, all the way back in, like, what, Space Hulk was it when it first came out? I really have to say, this caught me off guard. Because For one, we already have the Carnifex kit that has a Screamer Killer model in it. And honestly, that's the model that I originally kind of got introduced to Warhammer with. And I like it. You know, it makes sense to me. And then, of course, looking back at the old kit, it's just like, oh, this is trash. But I really have to commend Games Workshop on this. The new Screamer Killer, from when I saw the original cinematic to now seeing this, it's a really good glow-up, and it kind of works. I'm actually really excited for this model. That being said, I do kind of worry about what the remaining, like the current Carnifex kit will happen to it. Like, are we possibly then going to get now like another Carnifex kit? Are we going to, is like that current Screamer Killer going to be like replaced with something else? I don't know. All we can do is wait. And in the meantime, I'm just going to be excited for this model because, ooh, it looks good. It looks really, really good. The Von Ryan's Leapers. Yeah, it's just, you took Lictors and you turn them into a Hunter Squad now. I like it. Very quick side note, there was a 3D proxy creator that actually, I'm not sure if he was like trying to make a Lictor ahead of time, but it was perfect timing of how that sculpt came out around the same time that these were leaked. Or they worked very, very fast. I keep saying this a lot, that everything looks amazing, but it does. As much as I complain about Games Workshop a lot in many aspects, their models do hit on point when they hit on point. It does get you excited. These Termagants are obviously a perfect example of this, and yeah, the new ones that we're being shown right now versus what we currently have, it's still the same. It's just, it has more detail. It's a lot more defined. It works. They did a good job on this. And I'm really excited for it. Kind of happy that I wasn't just collecting more Tyranids before the big shift. Now we have Neurogons. These guys are really weird. They have a symbiotic relationship with this parasite on their back. And from the sounds of it, they actually serve more of like a bodyguard role for, I'm guessing, like some of the bigger creatures with like synapse. And that is really cool. I am wondering two things, however. One, will they have like a explode on death roll that will effectively really help me into turning them into Banelings for my Zerg-themed Tyranids? And two, are these going to replace the Hormagons? In which I'm kind of going to be sad if that's the case. The Barbed Guns, again, kind of, at first glance, kind of makes me a bit worried that they're just replacing like the Biovores. But kind of looking down at the description, it's, no, there's Biovores and whatnot are still going to remain. And so that does also kind of make me wonder when we'll see an updated model for them. Really, I'm thinking like everything's going to get updated for Tyranids. And I'm very happy for that. But kind of to go back to the Barbons, these really they really, really do look good. The only thing I will kind of say though is it's rather hard to kind of determine like what they're supposed to be. I can't tell if they're supposed to be like maybe this smaller rocket launcher type unit equivalent for the Tyranids, as like if that's maybe what they're supposed to be. But it also then has to make me stop and wonder, why are they going again with like this other parasite like creature? That is something that's definitely going to be interesting as we kind of get the books and whatnot and have the story move forward. And then finally, the Psychophage. I don't want to say I hate it, because I don't hate it. It looks really, really cool. I like the mouth. I like kind of the whole like crab-esque pose. I like the smokestack coming out of it, because all of it just really looks super weird and alien, and that's kind of what you want with the Tyranids. But I don't know, like a part of me just kind of has to stop and kind of look at this from a distance, and it reminds me too much of the Venomthrope. Low front head, kind of up, large, voluptuous, high raised body, these like kind of these legs kind of crawling around. It really kind of offsets me. I don't know. It's something. But yeah. Kind of going back down to the roadmap, that we're going to be expecting this towards the summer, which I'm very excited about. Come towards autumn, we'll get, of course, the dreaded codexes of Space Marines and Tyranids yet again. We will start the cycle all over again. In winter, we get Necrons and Admech, you know, that kind of seems appropriate. But what's also kind of surprising, however, is then all of a sudden, as we move into spring, we get Codex Dark Angels, Orcs, Custodes, Tau, and Chaos Space Marine. 5 codexes, all in the matter of spring. Obviously, I don't expect them to come out, like, all the same day. That would be fucking amazing if that did. But I think it is kind of showing how Games Workshop is actually kind of finally redirecting things and no longer doing, like, the long, you know, codex creep chain, and actually just try to get a well-balanced game edition out for everyone. Doris, kind of going over the last few reveals that, let's be honest, weren't really that big for today. Warhammer Underworlds. We have the Headsman's Curse warband with, I believe this is the first time we've seen, like, unique Night Haunt, if I recall. No, wait. No, I'm dumb. Second season of Underworlds, we got the Briar Queen. I'm so dumb. I take it all back. Everything I was about to say, I take it all back. But, no, I kind of like this. Honestly, the whole entire warband, I don't think was as bad as the last one that was revealed. Like, the Headsman, you know, it's kind of got, like, an interesting pose. It kind of has an interesting pose with, like, the sword and kind of pointing it down as if he brought it down on someone. You know, you got, like, a chain gas scribbler, which I kind of like. You got, like, another one with, like, a bunch of candles and, like, some sort of, like, anvil he carries around with him. The basic Ghost guy is kind of meh, but yeah. Warhammer Underworlds is honestly a game system that I really want to talk about at some point in the future, though. And probably one of my biggest disappointments is from Warcry, because we do get a new starter set. We do get another, like, dual box set, but to me, it completely breaks kind of the whole, like, system and rhythm that we've been kind of getting for a while now. Warcry 2nd Edition, The Heart of Gur. We got 2 new warbands. We got the Horns of Hashut, which is a Chaos warband, and, you know, the Plague Cultists, which were neural. We then followed up with the next set. It was, you know, Seraphon versus Tzeentch Cultists. We go to the next set. Vampires versus Khorne Cultists. Okay, you kind of seeing a rhythm here. It's like, okay, now, like, each of the 4 main Chaos gods are getting a unique little warband for themselves. Okay, that's really cool. I like this. This is cool. So then we get to this set, which, what the hell happened? We now jump from, you know, Chaos versus one of the 4 main factions to now we go into Stormcast versus Flesh Eater Courts? And that's not to say that the models themselves are bad. Like, the Stormcasts, they're fine. They just don't really scream that much to me outside of the main, like, I'm guessing the Skeletor guy is like a priest. But there's not really a whole lot to them. It's just like, oh, okay. The Flesh Eater Courts, I will say, however, good lord, the guy with the axe, drippin'. You got, like, weird, like, baboon creatures, which honestly are pretty cool. I think we even have, like, updated, like, I want to say these are updated ghouls that you now get, and that's also really cool and interesting. And overall, it looks cool, but it also kind of breaks that expectation of the cycle. I was expecting a Slanesh kind of warband versus, say, I don't know, you know, maybe add in, like, a proper Cruel Boys warband. Maybe add in, like, Iron Jaws. Something from the Orc war clans would have been nice. Or I heard people really talking a lot about, like, ogres or the Maw tribes were going to be here. And instead, we're kind of left with, it feels like it just kind of a bit of whiplash. It's just like the rug was pulled out from under me. But yeah, I did not kick the football. That, and also kind of looking at the main piece of terrain that we're kind of getting in this set, I don't know. It really feels lackluster. This one really just kind of feels like it's empty because you only get 2 trees and then the ziggurat, which might be a bit more unique considering it has, like, those bamboo platforms attached to it, but even then, it's just kind of like, meh. I'm actually really disappointed in this. So I think to kind of close this off, I'll just kind of be doing, I'll just do the usual that I have done before with most of these reveals. Biggest wins? Pretty much everything I have mentioned. I like everything. Even I would say the Underworlds Warband is kind of a nice win. And yet the biggest loss I would say out of this is probably the Warcry one. It's not, I do want to emphasize that it does look nice. It's just my expectations are just shattered. But yeah, that's basically that. I might do some of the last reveals tomorrow. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Thanks for listening, I guess. I'll see you in the next video.